like it here?
No. Do you?
I hate it.
I wanted to start just by asking you about your relationship with the horror genre, simply because, I mean, it goes back to Friday the 13th in 1980, and you've kind of cycled back to it regularly throughout your career. So I'm just curious, what is it about these kind of stories that you're drawn to?
I think because they are life and death stories, the stakes are very, very high. And I think that presents a lot of great kind of emotional challenges for actors. I don't really choose a movie based on genre. It's not like I go, well, time for a comedy, time for a romance. It's really about character. And I mean, Friday the 13th was a little bit of an exception because I did Friday the 13th because I needed to eat. It's not as though it was a job that was good, that was going to put food on the table. But in terms of the ones since then, I've just found them to be interesting characters, whether it's Hollow Man or Tremors or Stir of Echoes, and I think that there's a lot of challenges to you're going to have to modulate and learn how to use your frightened looks, for the course of a film, and make them go from slightly bothered to, creeped out to scared to terrified to running for your life. Those are challenges for an actor.
I wanted to start by asking you about just the relationship that exists between Suzanne and Kim Bacon's character in this film, because obviously it is a relationship that you don't get all of the details of. There is a very interesting backstory to their relationship. And I'm just curious about the kind of conversations that you had with David Koepp and Kevin Bacon about Suzanne and Theo.
I remember it being the first thing that we really discussed when we met each other. And within 5 minutes, I was like, I gotta do this movie. I want to hang out with these people. I want to continue creating. I want to be a part of this story. But it was mainly about just like marriage is complicated, and you want to see that they're good parents, and you want to see that there's clearly a connection. There's a reason they're together, but also you want to get the feeling that they are completely screwed.
Sure.
Marriage. Because if you're starting here, where are you gonna go? But no, we just spoke honestly about like where we see them and why they're together, and all the questions that you ask yourself when you're in a relationship, like why am I here? And it's always fun to explore another relationship, which I'm constantly doing as an actor. So
Come away with me.
She's both keeping a secret that is fairly significant and at the same time is also an actress. She's a professional liar, so to speak. And so I'm curious just how you kind of, when it came to scenes where you were being more duplicitous and kind of hiding your secrets, what you, kind of how you processed the way that specific approach, knowing that about the character.
I think it's interesting that someone could be so duplicitous in their own life when they are that for their job. Here's the thing this is how I see it. I, as an actor, try to find the truth in everything. Even though I'm not lying ever. I'm actually finding the most truthful part of anything, even if it's a circumstance that I haven't actually gone through, that my character's going through. Like, what are my real feelings on that? How do I, And so I think it's kind of like, in my opinion, I think it's harder for me to lie. It really is hard for me to lie in my life. And so the fact that it's so easy for her to just so blasé about it seems like,
sure.
like clearly one person to him and then one person to this other guy. And it's just like, and that's scary. And I think that she's got those issues and I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know how to
Sure.
process that necessarily. So I just think it's more interesting to play people that I don't really understand.
Sure. It's a cool
But she wants
conflict
to
for
save
sure.
her marriage and have what she wants. I don't know. It's complicated.
It is, exactly.
There's times when Theo actually has to talk to Theo, and that's something that I haven't really done, as far as I know, in a film before, and I've done a lot of different things in film, so to find something that was kind of new to me was interesting. And that in and of itself has it's got its challenges from an acting standpoint. The challenges are not so much these days. It's amazing what can be done now from a digital standpoint, you know, in terms of effects and you know, you can stand over one thing and stand over the other side, and then they can just do it pretty much right in the Avid, make it look pretty seamless. So but yeah, I love doing that kind of stuff. It's great.